Hello there, y'all. What's up? What's happening? Robert Sykes, KetoSavage.com. So, let's do another keto building episode. Let's talk about being in a caloric surplus. So, when you're in a caloric surplus, you're eating a significant amount of food, generally speaking, unless your metabolism is downregulated and you have to ramp that back up. But if you have a healthy metabolism, you're going to be consuming a pretty solid bolus of nutrients to be in that caloric surplus in order to really maximize your ability to build lean muscle tissue. For me, my maintenance is probably somewhere around 3,000 calories, so I'm over 3,500 calories right now in my surplus. That's a lot of food, so much so that it can be uncomfortable to eat that much at times. And a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't have to force feed, you shouldn't have to be hungry, you should just eat intuitively and then let your body tell you what it wants and what it needs. That is true in a sense, but it is not natural to try and put on an obscene amount of muscle. It is not natural to try and get down to sub 5% body fat. Those are not natural goals. Those are not things that you would see in the wild. So it stands to reason that you would need to do what is beyond your intuitive habits, your intuitive nature from a biological standpoint to reach those goals. Just as when you're cutting body fat, you're trying to get down to less than 5% body fat, you're going to have a period of time in which you're hungry. No matter what diet you're on, there's going to be a period in which you are hungry. It's uncomfortable, you're going without, food is in abundance all around you, and you have to maintain the mental discipline and fortitude to stay on track with your macro goals and fight through that hunger for a finite period of time in order to reach that low body fat percentage. That's going to be true no matter what diet you're following. Keto, paleo, vegan, bro dieting, whatever it is, if it fits your macros. The reverse of that is true in the surplus stage. So when you're in a muscle building standpoint, you're going to have to push your body beyond what is naturally comfortable to do. So not so much so to the point that you're just getting sloppy and eating terrible, heavily processed foods, and you're putting on a ton of unnecessary body fat, and you're not really seeing any significant increase in lean tissue. That's when you've gone, past the point of no return. It's just not optimal. But there is definitely a point in which you're in a caloric surplus, and it takes effort to eat that much food consistently. Like, anybody can eat a whole lot of food once, but to continually eat a lot of food and ensure that your body is getting that nutrients and absorbing those nutrients in order to maximize your ability to put on lean tissue is very, very important. So when you get to that point, when you're in a surplus and it becomes difficult to get the calories in, it's really important to choose foods that you can consume in abundance and that your body does respond well to. Because if you're just simply eating it, it's passing through you, and then you're, dispelling of it when you use the bathroom, you're not really getting absorption from that, and you're not really maximizing those calories in the first place. So finding foods that your body responds well to, that your GI system responds well to, is super, super important. Also, with regard to total carbohydrates, I always recommend counting total carbohydrates. When you're in a surplus, that is going to kind of increase by default simply because of the amount of food you're consuming. So when I'm in a deficit, I'll oftentimes eat less than 10 grams of total carbs. When I'm in a surplus, I'll often be around 20 or 30 grams of total carbs. Still, that's not very many total carbs at all by most people's standards, but it is going to be a little bit higher than my maintenance or my deficit total carb count. So some examples of foods that are really easy to consume when it's uncomfortable to eat more is yogurt. I'm a huge fan of yogurt. This particular brand is the Faye, I believe that's how I pronounce it, total 5% milk fat. So one serving is 3/4 cup, and there is 160 calories in that 3/4 cup. You have, let's see here, total fat 9 grams. Total carbohydrates is, how do they have this broken down here? Total carbohydrate is 5 grams, in which 5 grams is total sugar, no added sugar, just sugar from the dairy itself, and 15 grams of protein. The ingredients are super clean on this particular brand. It's got grade A pasteurized milk and cream, live active yogurt cultures. Those cultures listed out here, and that is it. So pretty clean. There's other cleaner, probably more wholesome yogurts, but that's a pretty good one. It's pretty common. I'll oftentimes throw a scoop of a collagen protein in there. This is the Ancient Nutrition multi-collagen protein. This is the chocolate flavor. You can do. I don't normally recommend a whey protein. I don't normally recommend a protein powder at all. But simply having this as a way to get the calories up when you're at a surplus is easy, because I can mix this in with the yogurt. It goes down super smooth. It doesn't take a lot of digestive oomph to absorb and assimilate it. So my body handles it pretty well. So this contains hydrolyzed bovine hide collagen peptides, eggshell membrane collagen, hydrolyzed fish collagen peptides, chicken bone broth protein concentrate, organic cocoa, natural chocolate flavor, xanthan gum, guar gum, and stevia leaf extract. So pretty clean for the most part. I'll oftentimes break up a keto brick and put that in there with my yogurt as well, just to get the calories up. But yogurt is something that you either love it or you hate it, but when you're in a caloric surplus, it makes it a really easy meal to get down. I'll oftentimes make it my last meal of the day when I haven't quite hit my calorie count for the day, but I don't really feel like eating, especially I don't feel like eating something big and dense and heavy right before going to bed. The yogurt is not that. It's light, it's fluffy. I can eat it with a spoon. It gives me some flavor. It's almost like a dessert nightcap, so to speak. But it works well for me, and it works well for a lot of people that are in a caloric surplus. So that would be my tip there. No, just like when you're in a deficit, like I said earlier, you're going to have to go through a point of being uncomfortable. It takes effort, it takes energy, and you have to push through that in order to build lean tissue. You have to eat big to get big to a point. I mean, there is some truth to that. Like I said, you don't want to get sloppy, but you do have to push past the point of just what your body naturally is compelled to consume. So there's that. That's my little tip on the muscle building series here, and I will see you next time for any future videos on the muscle building series. I'm probably going to do like a bi-weekly or every 3-week video on this particular topic, the muscle building series, that is. It's probably time for me to do an updated posing routine, but everything's been going good in regards to the lifts. The calories have been going up, the strength has been going up, the volume with my training protocol has been going up, so everything's going good in that regard. So yeah, we're moving in the right direction. I'll see you next time.